Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Aydin Naserifard. In this video we are taking a look at the Intigrity's July XSS challenge created by Veroemi. Let's hop over to the screen and get to the challenge. This is the main page that explains all of the rules. I'm going to open up the challenge link here. Let's poke around the website, click on Jake, nothing happens, click on Anton, nothing happens, click on Anton, nothing happens, click on these tabs, okay, February 2022. I noticed that it is a static page and there is a query get parameter that's having two values. So the only parameter that we can interact with is month parameter. Let's try to input a text here. And we do get an error. I want to know that what is going on in the browser. Let's look for source and there is no script. Okay, try to put HTML tag here. We do get an error. Try to put single quote here and we do get an error. What happens if I change this to a number that doesn't exist? Okay, I get a blank page. It looks like blind SQL injection because we can't see real SQL error because of the error handling at the backend. So we are going to try a union injection so that I can enumerate the columns on the database. I'm going to use hackbar to see the payload. Union select one and tag to commenting out anything. And we do get an error due to we don't have the right number columns yet. Just keep going up by one. Number 2, and we do get an error. Number 3, number 4, number 5, and eventually we found 5 amount of columns. This means that the table inside this database has 4 columns. We see the number 2, number 5, and number 3 being displayed. Let's remove this. The number 2 is a title, number 5 for date, and number 3 for the content of the post. So we can view the database version by typing version and this is the database version. We can get the database name just by typing database, and we get the database name. So now we can enumerate the databases with the following query. Group underline concat schema underline name from information underline schema dot schemata. And we have MySQL information underline schemata, performance underline schemata, sys and block as the databases. Let's get tables and columns from block. Table underline name and the hex representation of column 0x3a and column underline name from information underline schema dot columns where table underline schema equals block. We need the hex representation of the string. I'm going to use CyberChef. Don't forget to add 0x in the start. (0x) and run the payload. Okay, there are three tables: post, user, and YouTube. Let's dump the three columns from user. ID or x3a, name or x3a, picture from user. Okay, there's nothing interesting in the database, so this is a XSS challenge. Let's Google for XSS with SQL injection. I found this amazing blog. This is exactly what I'm looking for. In XSS attack via SQL injection, we will execute our XSS payloads in union-based query. For example, we have found a website which is vulnerable to SQL injection and inject into the database, but there we can also execute our XSS payloads in our union-based query. This is the URL. And try to inject XSS payload into the union-based query. And before executing this payload, we need to encode it in hex value. Okay, let's do that. First, let's try to inject a name into the union-based query. This one, for example. union select 1 concat or x and 3, 4, 5 and commenting out anything. Let's run it, and our input is reflected on the page. Now let's do this in the all columns. Run the payload again, and let's opening the inspector. Okay, our inputs are reflected in the page, but one column is not reflected. As we saw, every page is reflected with the title, date, other, and content. So the other column is not reflected here. If we pass 2, 3, 4, 5, if we pass 1 to the fourth column, we can see that another name will be reflected onto the page. Let's pass 2 to the fourth column, and you can see that another name will be reflected onto the page. Let's pass 3 to the fourth column, and nothing happens. So we have 2 others, and the fourth column takes the ID of the other. So try to inject our XSS payload into the fourth column. We need to encode it in hex value according to here. Copy the hex representation of the string and paste it here. Don't forget to add 0x in the start and run the payload. We don't get anything. Let's look for source. Nothing happens. So try for second order injection. If the first SQL query is vulnerable to SQL injection, the second inner SQL query is vulnerable to SQL injection as well. I'm going to use CyberChef and try for second injection 999 union select 1, 2, 3. first we need to see that the right number of columns. Copy the hex value and paste it here. And okay, this is the right amount of columns. So let's copy our XSS payload and paste it here, and we have to hex all of that. Copy the value and paste it here. And we don't get anything. If we go to console, there is a content security policy that prevents the execution of our script. If we go into the network tab and refresh the page, in the response header, this is the content security policy rules default-src self star.googleapis.com star.gsstatic.com star.cloudflare.com. This means that we can't load JavaScript, image or CSS from our domains. We can just only load scripts from the whitelisted domains, googleapis.com, gsstatic.com and cloudflare.com. To bypass CSV, in this case I found a great payload from the Hacktricks website. This one, let's copy that and paste it here. Remove these lines. And we need to change the script to trigger an alert of document.domain. Alert dot query dot call dot document dot domain. Script src equals cdnjs.cloudflare.com ajax libs prototype version 1.7.2 prototype.js. Script src equals cdnjs.cloudflare.com ajax libs angular.js version 1.0.8 / angular.js and trigger an alert of document domain. Let's copy the script and paste it here. Copy the hex value of the script and put it into second column in second SQL injection. And we need to encode hex all of that. And paste it here. And finally run the payload. And we do get an alert. Let's copy this to execute on Google. And we do get an alert. Thanks for watching this video according to YouTube algorithm. Please don't forget subscribe, like and comment if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.